Greetings and welcome to the channel. My name is Dr. Narcissistic, transformational coach here at Inner Mileage, where we help folks heal, understand the limiting beliefs they have and the trauma-informed basis of those limiting self-beliefs, and how to take inspired action to overcome those limited self-beliefs right here, right now. Today we're going to talk about the binary world after narcissistic abuse, love or hate, the binary world revealed after narcissistic abuse. So, particularly when you've been through narcissistic abuse, empath, there comes a moment after the narcissist has drained, fractured, and hollowed you out. When the veil lifts, you begin to see it and see it very clearly, and the whole world divides into two. You either fall neatly into the love or hate frequency, and you realize that there was never a neutral. There was only truth you weren't ready to face. Welcome to the awakening. Welcome to this binary world, even for non-binary folks. So I want to talk about the illusion of gray in an abusive world. For the empath, life under narcissistic abuse is lived in moral distortion. It really is. And the empath survives by justifying, by overextending, by hoping, until that coping strategy collapses. And when it does, you enter the binary field of love or hate, not as abstract feelings, but as energetic realities. And suddenly, everyone you know is revealed. Modern society calls us black and white thinking and pathologizes it. But post-trauma, what appears as extreme is actually clarity. You're not splitting reality, you're claiming it. Now, in neurobiology, which is the study of the biology of neurology, we know that trauma distorts time and meaning. But after your trauma, especially when healing is underway, survivors of trauma develop heightened discernment. I know it happened to me. What you feel as, I can't tolerate that anymore, is really the result of neural rewiring. And Dr. Bessel van der Kolk talks about this in the book, The Body Keeps the Score. You know, the body responds to perceived threats with a cascade of hormonal and neurological reactions. That means the empath's post-abuse clarity isn't mental, it's embodied. You're not crazy for walking away, let me be clear. You're sane for finally feeling safe enough to discern and realizing that hate is no longer hidden behind civility. It's not. You feel it in your gut, your skin, and your nervous system. So why is this ancient and sacred, this esoteric wisdom? Well, in esoteric wisdom traditions, the duality of energies is foundational. Not for this division, yin and yang, but for discernment. So I just talked about yin and yang. Yin and yang aren't enemies. They are opposites that reveal one another. Similarly, in the Kabbalah, for example, the tree of life sits between two poles, severity and mercy. And in Egyptian Ma'at, your heart must be light as a feather to ascend, which means letting go of all that is heavy, including hate, especially hate. So the empath's awakening is a return to ancient spiritual clarity. You're not merely healing, you are re-entering sacred memory. And hate is not just emotional, it's karmic residue. It binds, it stains, it anchors. And love is the ladder out of the underworld. It really is. And when we look at this even deeply, in academic language, we need to name what's happening, which is post-traumatic moral clarity. This is when the survivor of narcissistic abuse reclaims a moral compass, really does, not based on external rules, but internal resonance. And this discernment becomes acutely refined. And the tolerance of an empath drops not out of anger, but out of alignment with truth. So for example, Dr. Martha Stout wrote in the book, The Sociopath Next Door, the best way to protect yourself is to trust your instincts. If something feels wrong, it probably is. This isn't binary thinking out of fear. It's binary perception born out of soul intelligence. When love is present, the body softens. When hate is near, the stomach tightens, the chest closes, and the breath shortens. The empath now listens to these signals because you are awakened. So, with this said, then it becomes important to talk about self regulation. Because in the aftermath of abuse, self regulation becomes survival. But more than that, it becomes an ascension strategy. In other words, choosing love is no longer about emotions, it's a practice, a discipline, and a warrior's vow. And some practical tools to help you regulate through self love include breath work, which I'm a big fan of, because the vagus nerve is your body's trauma circuit and it activates through long exhales and inhales, right? Movement. Hate gets stored in your hips, your shoulders, your jaw. Therefore, dancing, shaking, and walking barefoot all reset your energetic spine. Then mantras. The vagus nerve responds to mantras. Speaking the frequency of I choose love, I choose truth, I choose release, all serve to ascend you. And of course, journaling, recording moments when you felt hate disguised as love. This builds your pattern recognition mode. You begin to see things more clearly and more joyfully. But you don't stay in love by accident. You train for it because love is light and only the light ascends. So when you choose love in a hateful world, you become a mirror. People project onto you, they attack you, or they disappear. And it's not personal, it's simply about resonance. See, the narcissist lives off confusion. The empath lives off clarity. And when you shift resonance, you collapse contracts, which are energetic, karmic, or even social. Your friends will ghost you, family will mock you, opportunities will shift, and you become untouchable. And some will hate that because your presence unmasks their performance. Dolores Cannon, the great Dolores Cannon from Alabama, called this the splitting of the worlds. Where one earth rises in consciousness, the other stays in control. And narcissistic systems, they belong to the descending earth. So the New Age movement wants you neutral. This is not a critique, but neutrality in the face of abuse is complicity. So let's shift the paradigm a bit. Binary perception is not extremism, it is liberation. Binary does not mean hate the hateful, it means exit the hateful. It means name what is and never let it near your nervous system again. This binary love or hate isn't emotional, it's vibrational. And as a being of frequency, you're here to choose. Choose love that nourishes, right? Not love that tolerates. Choose love that cleanses deeply and completely, not the silence that poisons. Choose clarity that ascends, because with anything that brings confusion dissents you. So if you're in a conversation where you're not getting clarity, you want to check why there is no clarity. Is it because of the lack of understanding, or is there something else going on? And when you begin to become aware of these things that are not aligned to the love and frequency, you are firmly in the fold of ascending to your true self. Because you no longer have space for anything that lowers your frequency from love to hate. See, even choosing gray is complicity. Gray is almost oriented, in my view, to the hate frequency, because there's no neutrality here. And you either choose or it's chosen for you. So the key thing to realize here is you're not meant to stay confused. You're here to awaken. And when you did, or when you do, you're meant to see that love isn't a feeling, it's a force. Hate isn't just anger, it is entropy. And neutrality, it's extinction. If this connects to you in any way, type transform in the comment section or send me a message at nan@innermileage.com and realize there's absolutely no one like you. In this lifetime, you're not here to make peace with darkness. You're not. You are here to embody the frequency of divine light so fully that anything not aligned with it burns off like fog in the sun. So I ask you now, will you choose love because hate is no longer an option and neutrality was never safe. If this resonated with you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and know that there's no one like you. And see you next time. Peace.